Hello. Hi. And welcome back to another episode of Narcissu Side Second. So, when we were last together, we ended up getting some good background story on this cutie little patootie right here, Setsumi. We went all the way back to 1999, where she wasn't a member or an occupant of the 7th floor yet. However, she's sort of become acquaintances with Himiko, who we know as sort of the protagonist of this story so far, I suppose. It's sort of centered around her so far. And it looks like they're going to end up having a very interesting relationship with one another. So we're going to dive back into this next chapter, which is just, you couldn't. There's not a better name for a chapter, is there? There's just, it's just pure ice, baby. It's cool as ice. It's so dumb. Following the Himiko-san, we came to the first floor cafeteria. We went up to a convenient table and sat next to each other. Maybe it was because it was right at lunch, the cafeteria was surprisingly crowded, not only with people from the outside, but also people who seemed involved with the hospital. As for myself, because my home was close, I'd never used it before, but more people seemed to use it than I'd thought. Okay, pick whatever you like. And then Himiko-san passed over a menu with a practiced air. You can take your time choosing. Chocolate, mint, or even sherbet. Sherbet? Whatever you like. She happily continued with her words. However, no matter how much I looked at the menu, it didn't seem like I had much to debate over. Then I'll have... Wait a minute! Yeah? Allow me to guess exactly what it is. For some reason, when she interrupted me, she confidently started making her prediction. Certainly, this was a menu with many different set meals and drinks. But from the start, the key item, ice cream, only came in vanilla. See? I knew we were probably, when we got the name of the chapter, it's vanilla ice, and ice cream in Japanese is aisu. So I had a feeling that vanilla ice, not really a mistranslation, maybe a funny localization, but, it's just, that would normally, probably get shortened to just vanilla ice. Even though it's ice for ice cream. But from the start, the key item ice cream only came in vanilla. There wasn't really anything to predict here. Let's see, judging by the air around you. Vanilla, right? Gosh, how'd you figure it out? How'd I do? Was I right? This is some kind of joke? That's not it! You're supposed to finish the gag routine with "there's nothing but that on the menu!" I didn't really get it, but the One-san got fired up all by herself. Oh well, anyways, I'll go buy some. As she spoke, she got up from her seat and quickly went to buy. What that was just now, I wonder. What was that just now, I wonder? Here, sorry for the wait. In a bit, Himiko-san returned. However, on the tray, there were 4 ice creams. For now, everyone's assigned 2, okay? Why? As the thought came to me, and faster than I could ask it, she placed 2 dishes in front of me as if that's just how it was supposed to be. And she started eating before I did. It does sound delicious. I'm a big fan of a good vanilla ice cream. I'm not gonna turn it down. Yeah, when it comes to summer, this is the only thing. With a nod, I also started eating. It was a sherbet-like ice cream and fit to season with its light taste. Setsumi? Is it good? Then try saying it a bit more happily. I don't know. I don't think this girl's built for big expressions like that. That's probably as good as it's getting, I would imagine. No, not like that. More like, how do you say, all this time I wonder, just what in the world does she want me to do? Yeah, that may be a little bit of a reach. I don't know. I don't know what happens, but I can guarantee you, or I would at least bet a good amount of money that when I press this enter key, she's not gonna do that. That's about all you're getting. Anyway, next question. Huh? Question? First, say chandelier 10 times quick, please. Chandelier, 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 chandelier. Oh, you have to say it really fast too, okay? And who ate the poisoned apple? Correct! Maybe she wanted me to answer Cinderella. Yeah, I saw what they were going for there. Like Cinderella. Okay, now that we are even more revved up, with that, it's self-introduction time. And Himiko-san was still charging herself up on her own. In these sort of situations, I guess I should just go along at least a little bit. Well, that's what I wound up thinking, but it felt impossible for me. So, what are Setsumi's interests? Nothing special. Then maybe you're good at cooking or something? Not particularly. Maybe you're unexpectedly a karaoke lover, and on top of that, love anime songs and can sing the Summer Machine Gun and stuff. Not even a bit. Well then, now it's my turn to introduce myself. Now that Setsumi's very thorough introduction is out of the way. Just when I wondered if I said all that much, Himiko-san suddenly stood up. Other people wondering what was going on looked over, but it seemed like she didn't mind that at all. Even though I look like this, I really love cars. I carry a National Rank A motorsport license. She even straightened up proudly and was excessively wound up. But to me, even if I was told National Rank A, I had no idea what that meant. Is that amazing? Ah, well, it's not that much. And in a flash, her energy disappeared. And as for me, instead of that, I was more interested in something else. What? Questions are okay. I'm good with things like rotary engines. No, not that, but like, is it okay to eat that? That. Before my eyes, Himiko-san continued to gobble up her ice cream. It might have been obvious, but ice cream was not supposed to go over well with the sick. Of course, I didn't know much about Himiko-san's illness, but at least I knew she was someone from the 7th floor. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's wrong with Himiko-san. We're never really, I think, given much detail about the terminal illnesses that people have. Like, my assumption from the first game was that Setsumi, I think, may have lung cancer. I'm not sure about protagonist Kun. He's just got some kind of, like, I think he's just got a weak heart or something. Not sure what's going on with Himiko though. Like, she's not really expressed any symptoms that would be all that identifiable other than, hey, I'm in a hospital for months on end. Just looking at it normally, a sick person shouldn't be eating that much ice cream. But to my question, hey, do you know the 7th floor's visitor hours? I was answered with another question. What it had to do with being able to eat ice cream, I couldn't see, but I honestly shook my head. I'm sure that on the 3rd floor where I was always admitted that it was from 3 in the afternoon until 8 at night. However, only on Saturdays, mornings were allowed, and I figured the other floors probably had similar arrangements? Amazingly, only the 7th floor is okay for 24 hours. And while I'm telling you, there aren't really any dietary restrictions. Yeah, like, I have to imagine, like, if everybody here is terminally ill, like, dog, just go eat your ice cream, like... Live your best life, man. Really? Yep, well, you can't go crazy and overeat, but basically you can have anything, anytime. While answering, she started to quickly eat her ice cream again. Coming from a ward full of restrictions, the 7th floor is suddenly, like, becoming free. Himiko-san laughed happily as she replied. However, the next words she spoke were in a totally different tone. Setsumi, you know what that means, right? I gave a small nod. What is a hospice? To that, there are people who say it is a place to await new treatments, to await new treatments, as well as people who say it is a place to ease the heart. I'm sure that both of those are probably right, but for myself, it seemed like Himiko-san's words just now were more understandable. Well, that's how it is. So come anytime, okay? I've got time. With that, her usual cheery face returned. Normally, she was like this, but I felt that once in a while, the facial expressions and words she used were very severe. Which one was the real Himiko-san? I don't know. Most likely both of them were. Yeah, that's kind of my guess, is I kind of feel like she is both of these people. Like, she's obviously, you know, happy-go-lucky Genki girl who loves her car and loves being a mechanic and tinkering around, but she's also somebody that's like, oh, cool, got dealt a real crappy hand by life and am going to die in less than 6 months. So that's a bummer. And that's definitely something to maybe be a little sullen about sometimes. Around when the sun, which had been so high, was setting, after I left the hospital, I returned home.
Tadaima.
I'm home. At the empty front door, my voice reverberated. From that closed-off room, the moment I opened the door, a blast of hot air had come out. I opened the living room window and let in the outside air. Even just that much cooled the room. Looking at the clock, it was 4 o'clock, still early for Mother to come home. I placed my slightly sweaty sailor uniform in the washing machine and changed into pajamas. And then, after I finished washing the rice, I help out Mother, who would be returning soon. I finish the preparations for making dinner. Since I was feeling well at this point, I set myself to doing at least this much. Really, I could just relax in my room, but instead, I switched on the fan in the living room. Father and Mother are working in the middle of this heat. For me alone to be in a cool air-conditioned room gave me a bad feeling, and I couldn't do it. She's home.
Tadaima.
I'm home.
おかえりなさい。
Welcome home. Mother returned from her part-time job. Almost always around this time, she would come home.
節美、もう晩ご飯済ませた？
Setsumi, did you eat dinner yet?
まだ。
Nope, not yet.
じゃあ一緒に食べましょう。
Then let's
今日も
eat
たくさんコロッケもら
together.
ってきた
Today
から
I got lots of croquettes again. Sitting at the table across from each other, the two of us started an early dinner. Because Father's commute had lengthened, he often came home late, and so the times the two of us ate like this, separate from him, increased.
どう？美味しい？
So, is it good?
あ、よかったらポテトも食べてね。あなた好きでしょ？
Oh, if you want, eat the fries too. You like them, don't you? With that, Mother offered the plate of fries. Before, I had continued to eat them silently. Since then, it seemed Mother thought I liked them.
実はお母さんね、昨日からポテトあげる係になったのよ。
You know, your mother, since yesterday, had been frying the fries. Huh?
だから実は
So these aren't really just leftovers.
あ、別に心配いらない
You
の
don't
よ。
have to worry.
あなたが好きだって言ったらね。
You see, when I said that you liked
お
them,
店の
the
人たち
people
も
at the store said I could take home as much as I wanted.
言ってくれているんだし
Oh, that's rough. Cheerfully, happily, Mother spoke on. Exactly what were the conditions that led the people at the store to say that? I didn't know. But just from imagining it, I was filled with guilt. For some reason, I was pained.
じゃあこれからも楽しみにして
So
いて
from now on, look forward to eating all these fries you don't want to eat. Oh, man. Getting a bad feeling. Getting a bad feeling. In front of such a mother, all I could do was just stay quiet and continue eating the fries, trying as best I could to eat as if they were delicious. Man, potato is not an easy food to sit there and pretend to like too. Like, fries, like, those don't go down easy. So there's some foods that you can have where you can kind of fake your way through it if you're kind of forced to and you don't want to be rude. Not potato, man. Potato is one of those things where it's just like, it's starchy, it's heavy. The fries are gonna be soggy. They're gonna be, oh, that's gonna be rough. Setsumi, Setsumi, Setsumi. Feeling for you, girl. A few days after, with the usual cicadas and the sun consecutively setting record heat, under such a sky, I came here once again. A high ceiling, a white room, a small folding chair on which I sat. However, even though I came here, it was just, I came here. Simply that. It's not like we talked about anything special, and at the least, I never brought up any interesting conversation topics. It was just on the level of sitting next to the unilateral Jesus Christ. It was just on the level of sitting next to the unilaterally chatting Himiko-san, making uninteresting responses.
一つ質問だけど
Hey, one question. Decisively, I tried asking a direct question.
私といて楽しい
Is being with me fun?
ええあなたといると退屈知ら
Yes.
ずよ
When I'm with you, I know no boredom.
嫌味
Sarcasm?
とんでもない
No such thing. It's really fun.
すつみちゃんラブラブって感じ
Aww,
が
a
する
Setsumi-chan lovey-dovey kind of feeling. Aww. Maybe she's toying with me? I couldn't help thinking that, but Himiko-san was always like this. One-sidedly getting all worked up, whatever I said, and cheerfully following her own pace at the end. And then, just when we had that exchange... Good afternoon. the person who came in was an older lady I didn't recognize. It was the first time I saw anyone come to this room. Himiko-san, how are you feeling? Well, nothing special, I guess. Today is a bathing day. What shall we do? I'm fine, thanks for your concern. Then if there's anything, feel free to say. With those final words, the lady I didn't know left the room again. At first, I had thought it was a family member, but it seemed to be otherwise. Maybe it was a helper? Since she was wearing an apron, she seemed like one. It was just that I felt she was somehow different from the other people I knew called helpers. That person just now was... Oh, she was a helper, although assigned to someone else. It seemed that I was right that she was a helper. But because there really did seem to be a difference, Himiko-san explained about helpers here. It seemed that the helpers of the general wards were generally supposed to help people in the physical sense. Depending on the hospital, it could be a job, and there also seemed to be some who looked upon it as a form of part-time work. Compared to that, the 7th floor helpers, because mental care was relatively important, if you came thinking that it was a part-time job, you apparently wouldn't be accepted. Well, at least for this hospital, all the 7th floor helpers should be volunteers. Let's see. How admirable. I mean, again, we've mentioned that before. That's admirable work that I don't envy or think that I could ever handle. I was a bit impressed. It might have been obvious, but I had heard that those who had not been informed beforehand cannot enter the 7th floor. For those people who by their own choosing volunteer for free for the sake of those patients, I plainly felt admiration. But at my reaction, Himiko-san... Indeed, admirable. She replied without conviction. Looking at it normally, you'd think you'd sense a bit of something like appreciation. And then Himiko-san's words from before. Though assigned to someone else, and someone else nagged at me. From just those words, one would think that Himiko-san's assigned helper also existed somewhere. But so far, I'd never seen anyone like that. Himiko-san's assigned helper is... Oh, there isn't one. There isn't one. Why? Because I don't need one. Plainly, that was the only answer she gave. I didn't really understand, but maybe the 7th floor helpers could be refused if the patient said so? Certainly, Himiko-san, when compared to the other people of the 7th floor, could walk normally and, because she was young, was lively, but come to think of it, since I've come here, I'd not even once seen family members come to visit. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Where's Chihiro? Like, is Chihiro no longer visiting now, or? Did Himiko just kind of like close everybody off? I mean, again, understandable given her situation. But that's because now you come. It's as if she saw what I was thinking and replied, thanks. That leaves 3. Leaves 3? Yeah, I wanted a friend from a different age group. You know, isn't it common? The 10 things you want to do before dying? And she lightly used the word dying. That might also be because she's on the 7th floor, but to have that word said in a cheery voice suddenly was jarring. However, the 10 things one wants to do before dying. What they were, I didn't know. How much time Himiko-san had left, I also didn't know. Looking at it the other way, I could say there were 3 things remaining?
節美。
Well, it's like that, Setsumi.
聖書が正しければ世界は7日で作られたそうよ。
If the Bible is correct, seems like the world was created in 7 days.
だから
And so,
私に残された時間でも大抵のことは可能だと思わない？
even with the time I have left, don't you think most of them are possible?
それ例えになってないわよ。
Then that doesn't make a good example.
まあそんなこと言わ
Oh,
ずに
come
さ。
on, don't say things like that.
残り3つなんだから、よかったら付き合ってよ。
There's 3 things left, so if you don't mind, come along with me. It looks like we've become friends, the two of us. Upon the first week of meeting, I'd been asked to go along with 3 remaining things to do before dying. Himiko-san's words. I didn't know how serious she was, but it seemed that I would probably be coming to this place often. As the sun slowly sank and the sky stained orange, I left the hospital. Today, I may have been at the hospital too long. As I was thinking that, my eyes landed on the schoolyard. Again, there were children running around happily. Even the metal bar I did the somersault on before had plenty of patrons today. Summer vacation, dusk, the voices of Higurashi, sweaty playing children. Each and everything were the everyday parts that built up the scene of a common summer day. There was nothing out of place. No one would make a strained face like mine from a single somersault. One-san, what's wrong? As I continued to stand gazing, one child that was playing spoke to me. Did you want to play with the bar?
別に何でもないわよ。
Not particularly. It's nothing. With just that answer, I turned on my heel. Looking up, the sky already darkening, I hurried along the road home. It's a nice looking sky there. I'm a big fan of like gradient colored skies. I'm always a fan when you can see like you can see the sky change from like one color to another. I'm very simple, is what I'm saying. That's nothing interesting at all.
ただいま。
I'm home.
おかえり。ちょうど晩ご飯の支度ができ
Welcome
たところ
home.
よ。
The preparations for dinner are just about done. Looking at the clock, it was already about 7. Today, Mother had come home first. And together with Mother, we began our usual early dinner.
そういえば、今日は遅かったわね。
Speaking of which, today you were quite late.
ちょっと病院寄ってたから。
I went to the hospital a bit.
あら今日って検診の日だっ
Oh,
け
today was an examination day?
うん、そうじゃないけど。
I worried about how to answer. How should I talk about Himiko-san? Being an acquaintance seemed safe, but after thinking a bit, I decided to answer like Himiko-san said.
友達のところに行ってたから。
I went to a friend's place. A friend?
友達
Mother repeated my words back to me. She also had a surprised, unbelieving sort of expression. However, Mother, having the kind of reaction, was probably unavoidable. For the word friend to come out of my mouth was itself rare, while at the very least, in these past few years, it probably had been impossible.
そうよかったわね節美お友
I
達ができ
see,
て
I see. That's wonderful, Setsumi, making a friend. And this time, she happily continued speaking. To that happy mother, I spoke about the events that happened up until now. That she was a very kind One-san. That lately, I had been going to play every day. That often, I was taken to go eat ice cream.
へえ優しそうなお姉さん
My,
ね
sounds like a very kind One-san.
うん。
It's not like I was lying. But I wasn't able to say that she was a resident of the 7th floor. Why I thought that, I didn't know the exact reason. Being on the 7th floor wasn't Himiko-san's fault. It was no one's fault. I knew that. Because I was in a similar position. Because at some point the people I knew disappeared. I I knew it even more so. It was probably the feeling of not wanting to worry her. I'm sure that Mother would imagine that it was another normal patient or perhaps a nurse. But to deny that didn't seem like something I could do.
そうだ。じゃあ明日からお弁当も作ってあげようか。
I mean, I think that would be fun. I mean, we know Himiko's not gonna make us much other than a boiled egg, and she'll take us for some ice cream, so yeah, like maybe let's like bring the girls something nice to eat. We can do that, right? I'm pretty sure that that's something they probably allow on the 7th floor too. Hey, I got this bag of 25 bite-sized Kit Kats. Yeah, it's probably fine. I know, then starting tomorrow, why don't I make lunches for you? Eh?
この距離でもわざわざ帰ってくる
Even this
の面倒で
distance,
し
it
ょ
must be a pain to come back, right? Mother continued being happy. Lately, my health had been good, and probably hearing I had made a friend made her extra happy. I wouldn't say it out loud, but I think it hasn't been since the 6th grade trip. She had always put effort into making lunch for me.
任せて。豪華に
Leave it to
作ってあげ
me.
るから
I'll make a feast. In front of such a happy mother, I could say nothing. As always, all I could do was quietly eat the fries. All right. We're going to go ahead, and we're going to go ahead and call that for now. I think that's a good stopping point. So definitely moving things along here with Himiko, like there's obviously a friendship that is now beginning to blossom. This is a good thing for both of these characters. And again, I'm starting to see, I think, more and more things that perhaps carry over to, you know, Setsumi later in life. I'm even more just kind of like what kind of wonderful wisdom, I think, will Himiko be able to impart that leaves an impression on her life that allowed her to kind of like make the actions that she was able to at the end of her life and things of that nature. There's so much swirling around right now and a lot of uncertainty. There's so much more to go. I know that Side second is definitely a lot longer, so we are definitely in for a bit longer of a haul, but we'll go ahead and we'll put it down for now, and we will be back next time. So I hope you have a nice rest of your whatever, wherever you are, and we will catch you next time. Bye!